Hello, someone requested to have a video about how to set up a navigation controller, and I just happen to have a new Arduino Mega ADK board here that I'm going to set up as a backup. And I figured I'd go ahead and do a video about how to do that. I've realized that I was doing too much and for the files and stuff, and so I'm kind of paring it down to be a little better. So I've got my USB dongle already plugged in down here, and you can see it's plugged in with a USB as well, and it is on and running. So the other things you obviously need are your navigation controller. This is a new one I just got in, and a mini USB adapter that handles data, not just charging, because otherwise you won't get a connection. You'll need that later. So the first thing you want to do is go into your documents of your computer. So this is Windows 10, so it's just this PC and documents. If it was Windows 7, it would be my computer and my documents. You want to create this Arduino folder here that's required. And then once you create that, underneath that, you also want to create this libraries folder. That will also be required. The other thing I do is I create this Arduino IDE folder just for me, and that's so I can keep different versions of the Arduino IDE separate in case I have multiple versions I want to use. I've just installed this on this laptop, so I don't have different versions yet, but I've got this here so it is ready for when I need it. To get that software, just go to your Arduino page here, go to the software tab, and then scroll down to these previous release versions. Scroll down. You can get the installer if you want. I usually choose just the Windows one here because that's the zip folder. I believe if you look at the Padawan Shadow information, it says 155 or newer. I found the newest version you can use before it starts having trouble with some of the, or at least one of the libraries, is 1.6.4. So I've already got that downloaded, so I'll just leave that here. So let's go back. Go into here. And we'll go ahead and pop this up. It just opens the default sketch, and we can kind of leave that on the side for now. Next thing you need are the shadow files. So the first thing you want to grab is go into the wiki, go to Shadow MD, scroll down to the bottom, and grab this library zip. This has all the information you need in it. As far as the libraries go, so we'll do a save as. Go to documents, Arduino, and then libraries. We'll go ahead and save that in here. Show in the folder. And let's go ahead and extract that. You don't want this folder. It'll just, if you remove this, it'll just extract the 3 folders inside, which is what you want. Alright, now that those are there, we can go back here to Arduino, come back to Shadow MD Wiki, and go ahead and download our sketch. Go back up to Arduino, save that there, and we'll show it in the folder, and then extract all. This one doesn't matter if it's got the folder or not. Let's go in, and you see this dual controller template here. All right, so you want to go back in and open up the 1.6.4 that you have. Go ahead and open your sketch. So you find that by going into libraries here, documents, Arduino, and then the folder that you saved. It wants you to have the same folder with the same name as the file name for your .inos, and it will create that for you. So basically it just puts a folder down here. You can watch it do that and pushes the file inside of it. All right, so it opens up our sketch here. Let's open up this a little bit bigger. Next thing you want to do is check and make sure that it loaded those libraries, which it didn't, which I think it will fix itself here in a minute. The next you want to check your board. I have the Arduino Mega 80K, so we've got that. And then check your COM port. It usually shows up here. It may have asked you to install a driver, which you should have. If nothing's coming up here, and you're not seeing it, the correct serial port, you may have to just go ahead and download the installer and install it directly to get the driver to show up. So once you get the board and your COM port set, you go ahead and verify. And watch it while it compiles the script. Okay, so if we're lucky, we've got it's done compiling, and we can see from this white text here that it went through just fine. 70% of memory. Now I've had an occasion where this will show up like an orange or red text saying that it's missing the Bluetooth file, PS3 Bluetooth, which is there. I'm not sure why it does that. Went too far. Let's go back to documents. There we go. Libraries. So if you go in the USB host shield, you see the PS3 BT.H is the one that it usually complains about, is right there. So if that happens, you just do another verify and it'll go through and find it. I don't know if that's just because it didn't load the libraries the first time. See, now they're showing up. So sometimes that errors out. All right, so once you have that, you want to go ahead and do the arrow button here, which uploads it. It does like a recheck of the compile, and then uploads it. As you can see here, we have the transmit and receive lights flashing. That means it is uploading. And we're waiting for that to complete. Takes just a minute or two. All right, it's done. And the TX comes back on. That means you're ready after the update. And my Bluetooth dongle actually has like a little blue light you can see kicking on and off. At this point, you want to do what it calls a hot swap. So you pull out, you get around to, so you can see this, pull out the Bluetooth dongle, plug in your mini USB, set that down here, plug in your controller. And we forgot to do something here, so let's go ahead and disconnect that for a second. you want to pull up this serial monitor here, so it's under tools. Again, just in case, this serial monitor here. Should see the Bluetooth library start. Oh, and because we unplugged, so if that happens, if you do like what I just did, you can plug your Bluetooth back in, hit reset, watch it reload. Okay, and you want to see this local Bluetooth MAC address. That is the MAC address of your Bluetooth dongle here. So now we can unplug that, plug our USB cable back in, plug it in our controller, and we should get to see this Bluetooth address set to, and then it's the same MAC address as your Bluetooth dongle. This can be a little finicky. I noticed that if you plug in the USB on the Arduino first, and then plug in your controller, that seems to work. Sometimes it still doesn't work, and you have to, hopefully you've got a second one of these. You can switch between them, and that seems to wake them up. But you want to see that Bluetooth address is set. Now the directions will tell you to put that in your sketch. You don't need to do that step yet. So what you can do now is once we see that it's set in the controller, we can go ahead and disconnect it again. Go ahead and pull this aside. Put in the dongle again. Hit reset, because it won't come back up until it restarts. Okay, so now that we see we've got our local address again, disconnect this, we can power on the controller, and you'll see it start to flash lights. And here we go. We've got our MAC address. Just want, oops. Yeah, saying it's ready to do another request. So that's when you can grab your second controller, if it's also been set, and grab the MAC address for it. So once you have this highlighted, you want to do Control C for copy, because you won't be able to right click on that. Come over to our sketch and paste that in. There we go. And while we're at it, get my other controller here. Grab the MAC address for it. Oop. That gets me every time. Alright. And we paste it in here. Paste. Do a backspace to get back to it. And we are set. So we can now let's go ahead and save our files, so that way we've got it saved locally. And we do upload again, and as you can see, the lights are flashing again. Now, if you saw me close out the serial monitor window, we didn't need that anymore. Now at this point, so we take the first one that we did. That's going to be the primary one you want to turn on first. So you can see the lights flashing. And it's gone solid. That means it's connected. And so now we take our second controller, we can turn it on now. And it is connected. If you wanted to, you can leave that serial monitor open, watch all that connect. And then if you want to, once it's done connecting, oh, I must not have that set in the sketch for this save. Oh no, because it connected, they both shut off. When you connect the serial, it'll kick all the controllers out. So let's do that again. Alright, so the first one we saw was our foot controller up here. And the second one connected is our dome controller. And now, if we start doing things, we see data scrolling through. Now, those invalid data, it's because you want to do combinations. There we go. And that's it. You just press and hold the power button, the PS button, for up to 15 seconds, and they will shut off. And they're disconnected. And that is it, guys. And then when you get backups, controllers, if you want, you can just add those into these secondary spots. You cannot mix and match these. You have to use one set or the other set. Once again, you turn them on in order of your foot first, and then your dome, whichever order you put them in. All right, guys, have a good one.